Hi to everyone. This is the third video for Unit 3.6 about disciplinary team, family members, and caregivers of the patient with acquired disability. Let's see about family members and caregivers. What is the role of the family member or caregiver in the chronic states of the acquired disability? They are called informal caregivers because they don't receive remuneration for care and do not have to have specialized training. Unlike professionals who work with people with acquired disabilities, family members and caregivers face an unknown situation in most cases, so they need and appreciate being advised from the first moment in relation to the approach to disability, preferably before receiving hospital discharge. The family member experiences, together with the patient, the psychosocial and economic consequences of the brain injury, in addition to physical and legal barriers, and is influenced by them in equal measure. The sudden change of the daily routine, sleep disturbance, depression, and the feeling of isolation are some of the sequelae of the disability that can affect both the patient and the family member caregiver. Many studies show how women tend to adopt the role of caregivers to a greater extent than men due to cultural influence. The situation of dependence of the patient often triggers a psychological reaction also in the caregiver, since an interdependent relationship is established, where the quality of the relationship will determine the appearance of depressive symptoms. In the actions of daily life, the caregiver or family member plays a key role on supporting the individual. The responsibility to which the family member or caregiver is subjected can sometimes result in negative psychological symptoms, which is called caregiver overload or burnout. These symptoms are inherent in the role of the caregiver, although they evolve differently in each particular case, with a general tendency to uh, diminish in the long term, like clinical depression, anxiety, blockage, family rupture, and stress and fatigue. In this figure, we can see some impact factors that condition the caregiver's overload, with interdependence and change of routine being the most influential. No relationship has been found between the stress of the family member and the degree of the disability of the individual. So it's proposed to study the effect of other factors such as the quality of life of the family member, the burden level, the level of intrusion into daily life, and the resilience and adaptation to the process. Most studies conclude that the levels of stress, anxiety, and depression in the caregiver or family member are reduced when they are informed or prepared before being discharged from hospital. Improves perception about disability, improves empathy and the relationship between caregiver and the patient, avoid feelings of social isolation or excessive responsibility, improve personal safety and confidence. Therefore, it's important to include family members in rehabilitation and provide them with tools to cope with disability. And what tools can be provided to the family member or the caregiver? Knowledge based, we have report on disability, provide sources to obtain reliable information. Based on the acquisition of specific skills, we can, as professionals, support with legal aspects and teaching how to use patient support products. Based on social support, we can create groups or family support associations. It's important for the family member to find support in professionals who work directly with the patient, as they can provide certain tools. For this to be possible, communication between the family member and the professional must be cordial and respectful, since we work towards a common goal, although there may be different points of view. By maintaining an assertive conversation and listening to each other actively, we will be able to set common goals for the treatment of the patient in a relaxed and somewhat simple way. Both will have greater communicative intention and reduce tension in the face of any problem. The professional can, through his dissemination work, facilitate the adaptation of the patient and his relatives to the new situation by providing the necessary information. This adaptation must be carried out from respect, taking into account the values, personal resources, and resilience of the patient and his environment. The professional is a strong support network to turn to if you need support. Establish a clinical relationship based on trust and active listening reduce the level of stress, discomfort, and uncertainty in families, as well as encouraging determination and decision making. To promote the learning of rehabilitation of the person with disability, it's more fruitful for professionals and family members to communicate to establish the objectives, materialize them, and review them in the same way. Since this avoids contradictory message to the patient and promotes the reinforcement of learning. The flow of information between family members and caregivers and professionals is bidirectional and is a key point for the collection of clinical information about the patient, early detection of risk situations, and evolution of rehabilitations outside the day center or hospital center. Thanks for your attention.